Ambition is treated like a virtue. The more you want, the more driven you are supposed to be. But Aristotle believed that unchecked ambition could quietly destroy a good life, not loudly, not all at once, but slowly, by convincing you that enough is never enough. Why ambition feels so necessary today. We live in a world that rewards visible success, titles, numbers, followers, money, growth. If you're ambitious, you're praised. If you slow down, you're questioned. If you stop, you're judged. Ambition today isn't just encouraged, it's expected. And yet, despite unprecedented opportunity, people feel more anxious, restless, and dissatisfied than ever before. Aristotle would not be surprised. Aristotle's core insight. Aristotle believed that the goal of life was eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or living well, not pleasure, not wealth, not fame, a life well lived. And to reach that life, he argued that every virtue exists between two extremes. This idea is known as the golden mean. Courage lies between cowardice and recklessness. Confidence lies between insecurity and arrogance. And ambition, though rarely discussed today as a virtue, was no exception. Too little ambition leads to stagnation. Too much ambition leads to imbalance. The mistake modern culture makes is assuming that ambition has no upper limit. When ambition becomes excess, Aristotle didn't fear ambition itself. He feared what happens when ambition loses its proper role. At first, ambition helps you grow. You work harder, you develop skill, you improve your character. But at a certain point, ambition stops being about excellence and becomes about comparison. You no longer ask, am I becoming better? You start asking, am I ahead? Status replaces substance. Recognition replaces mastery. Aristotle believed this shift was dangerous because it slowly changes who you are acting for. You stop acting for virtue. You start acting for applause. The status trap. One of Aristotle's sharpest observations was that external rewards are unreliable guides for a good life. Fame depends on other people. Money depends on circumstances. Status depends on comparison. And comparison has no finish line. There is always someone richer, someone younger, someone faster, someone more admired. Ambition rooted in status forces you into a race you cannot win because the goal keeps moving. This is why Aristotle warned that excess ambition produces restlessness rather than fulfillment. You're always in motion, but never at rest. Ambition. Without telos, Aristotle believed that every action should aim at a telos, a final purpose. A knife's purpose is to cut. A doctor's purpose is to heal. A human being's purpose is to live well through reason and virtue. Ambition, in his view, is only healthy when it serves that purpose. But modern ambition often lacks a telos. People want success, but can't say what success is for. They want more, but don't know when they'll stop. This creates a strange condition, constant effort without direction, motion without meaning. Aristotle believed this was one of the fastest ways to live a fragmented life, the quiet cost of overambition. Excess ambition doesn't usually look like chaos. It looks like discipline. It looks like productivity. It looks like sacrifice. But over time, it extracts a cost. You delay happiness until the next milestone. You treat rest as weakness. You reduce relationships to transactions. Worst of all, you begin to confuse your worth with your output. Aristotle warned that when ambition dominates character, people stop asking whether their goals are good and only ask whether they are impressive. The turning point. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people are not unhappy because they lack ambition. They are unhappy because they never decide what their ambition is for. Without that decision, ambition becomes automatic. It chooses for you. It escalates on its own. Aristotle believed wisdom meant knowing when striving improves your life and when it quietly erodes it. Aristotle versus modern success. Modern culture says, more growth is always better. More speed is always progress. More achievement is always success. Aristotle would disagree. He believed the good life was defined by proportion, not accumulation. A well-lived life is not the biggest life, it is the most balanced one. Success, to Aristotle, was not about scale, it was about harmony between desire and reason, effort and rest, ambition and contentment. What Aristotle would ask you. Aristotle didn't offer life hacks, he offered questions. What are you aiming for, and why? Who are you becoming as you pursue it? If you reach your goal, what kind of life will it actually give you? And perhaps the most difficult question, at what point would enough be enough? Ambition that cannot answer these questions is not strength, it is drift. Aristotle never warned us to abandon ambition. He warned us to place it carefully. Ambition should serve a good life, not replace it. Because the greatest danger is not failing to achieve what you want, but achieving it and realizing too late that it cost you what mattered.